Your cat puts up with a lot more than you think. Every single day, you're doing things that quietly frustrate them. Not enough to make them run away. Not enough to make them stop loving you, but enough to slowly change how they feel around you. And here's the part most people miss: your cat is already telling you. In small ways, subtle ways, easy to ignore ways. But once you finally understand these signals, you'll never interact with your cat the same way again. Watch until the very end, because the last thing on this list is the one that damages trust the most, and almost every cat owner does it without realizing. Welcome to Cat Club. If you're new here, this is where we break down what your cat is actually trying to tell you. Let's dive in. Cats don't hate easily. They tolerate, they adapt, they adjust their behavior around you. But that doesn't mean they're okay with everything. Every day, your cat is reacting to your actions. Some make them feel safe, some make them feel confused, and some they absolutely hate. The problem is, most of these look completely normal to us. Today, we're fixing that. We're breaking down 7 everyday things your cat hates and what they actually feel in those moments. Some will surprise you. One might make you feel a little guilty, and one might completely change your relationship with your cat. First, forcing affection when they're not in the mood you see your cat. They look soft, comfortable, peaceful. So you reach out, pick them up, pull them closer, start petting them. You think you're showing love. But here's the part most people miss. To your cat, that moment can feel like losing control. Cats are control-driven animals. They choose when to approach, when to engage, when to leave. When you override that choice, even gently, it creates tension. Now here's where it gets deeper. If your cat leans in, purrs, or stays relaxed, that's consent, that's connection. But if their body stiffens slightly, tail flicks, ears turn just a little, that's your warning. And there's a third version most people ignore. When your cat tolerates it, but doesn't enjoy it, they don't fight, they don't run, they just accept it. That's not love, that's patience. And over time, too many of those moments can quietly reduce trust. Second, staring at them the wrong way. You catch your cat across the room. You look at them, they look back, and suddenly it feels intense, almost uncomfortable. Most people think it's just random, but it's not. In the animal world, a direct, unbroken stare is not friendly. It's a challenge, a signal of tension. Now here's the twist. If your cat looks at you softly, eyes relaxed, maybe even slowly blinks, that's the opposite. That's trust, that's affection. That's them saying, I feel safe with you. But if your stare is too strong, too direct, too long, it can shift the energy instantly. There's also a second version. When your cat stares at you during feeding time, or when you're holding something interesting, that's not emotional, that's strategic, that's a request. And here's the part most people get wrong. If you respond every single time, you train your cat to demand more. So now the stare isn't communication anymore. It's expectation. And expectation can turn into frustration. Third, ignoring them when they ask for attention. You're on your phone, watching something, talking to someone, and your cat comes up. They tap your arm, brush against you, sit in front of your screen. At first, it feels annoying. But here's what's actually happening. Your cat noticed something. Your attention shifted away, and they're trying to bring it back. That small paw touch, that's not random. That's intentional communication. And it's one of the most emotional signals they use. Now, here's where it gets powerful. If you respond sometimes, but ignore them other times, you create confusion, unpredictability. Your cat doesn't know what works anymore, so they try harder. More taps, more interruptions, more insistence. But there's another version of this behavior, a quieter one. When your cat gently reaches out, slowly, almost hesitantly, that's not demand, that's emotional need. They're not asking for play, they're asking for connection. And when that gets ignored repeatedly, it doesn't create independence, it creates distance. Fourth, changing their environment too often. You move things, rearrange furniture, shift their bed, change their food location. To you, it's small. To your cat, it's everything. Cat rely on predictability. They map their world mentally. Every object, every scent, every pathway matters. When you suddenly change things, you don't just move furniture, you disrupt their map. Now here's what most people miss. Some cats explore, adapt quickly, seem fine, but internally, their stress levels rise. There's also a second type of reaction. Cats that become withdrawn, quiet, more alert, watching everything. That's not curiosity, that's uncertainty. And then there's the third version. When your cat starts acting out, scratching more, meowing more, behaving differently, it's not bad behavior, it's instability. They're trying to regain control in a world that suddenly feels unfamiliar. Fifth, petting sensitive areas without realizing you're petting your cat. Everything feels normal. Then suddenly, they bite or grab your hand, and it feels confusing, unpredictable. But here's the truth. It wasn't sudden. You just missed the signals. Cats have sensitive zones. The belly, base off, the tail, sometimes even the back after too much stimulation. And here's the key. Even areas they usually enjoy have a limit. Now here's where it gets deeper. There's a build-up phase, small signs, tail flicking, skin twitching, ears shifting slightly. But most people don't see it. They continue and continue until the cat says, enough. That bite, that grab, that's not aggression, that's communication. That came too late. And if it keeps happening, your cat doesn't just get overstimulated. They start associating your touch with discomfort. We're halfway through, and the next two are the ones most cat owners never question, but they should. Because these don't just annoy your cat, they change how safe you feel to them. Don't skip this part. Sixth, being loud or unpredictable sudden noises, raised voices, quick movements. To you, it's normal life. To your cat, it's chaos. Cats are hyper-aware of their environment. Their hearing is sharper, their reaction time faster. So when something loud or sudden happens, it hits them harder. Now here's what's interesting. Some cats don't run. They freeze, watch, observe. That doesn't mean they're okay. That means they're assessing danger. There's also another version. Cats that leave the room instantly, disappear, hide. That's not personality. That's stress response. And here's the long-term effect most people miss. Repeated unpredictability creates low-level anxiety. Your cat becomes more alert, more cautious, less relaxed around you. Not because they don't love you, but because they can't fully predict you. Seventh, punishing them the wrong way. Most important, this is the one. The biggest mistake. And the one that affects your relationship the most. Your cat scratches something, knocks something over, does something you don't like. So you react, raise your voice, push them away. Maybe even punish them. You think you're teaching them. But here's the truth. Cats don't connect punishment with past actions. They connect it with you. In that moment, you become unpredictable, unclear, unsafe. Now here's what happens next. They don't learn the rule. They learn to avoid you when they feel uncertain. There's also a second effect, hidden behavior. They don't stop doing the action. They just do it when you're not around. And then there's the third, the most damaging one. Your cat starts hesitating around you, watching you more carefully, not approaching as freely. That small shift, that's trust being reduced. And here's the part that changes everything. Cats don't need punishment. They need redirection, consistency, calm responses. Because the moment fear enters the relationship, connection starts leaving. So what does all this mean? Your cat doesn't hate you. Not even close. But they experience your actions in ways you never realized. Every forced cuddle, every ignored signal, every loud reaction, every misunderstanding, it all adds up. But here's the good news. The opposite is also true. Every moment of awareness, every adjusted response, every time you notice instead of assume, builds trust, deepens connection, strengthens your bond. Your cat has been communicating with you every single day, not with words, but with behavior. And now, you finally understand what they've been trying to say. If this changed the way you see your cat, subscribe to Cat Club, because this is just the beginning. And before you go, I want to know something. What's one thing your cat does that you never understood until now? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one.